Hi, welcome to Barefoot English. I'm not 100% sure what I want to call this series or these stories. Um, Kids say the darndest things. What, where, why? I'm not sure what to call this yet, but I'll come up with a name over time. But kids do say some of the darndest things. Um, Give you an example that happened this week. Uh, some of my students are very advanced English speakers. Their families have either lived abroad, are planning on living abroad, or are just really keen on making sure that their kids gain a real grasp of English as a second language and are very much bilingual. They're getting that motivation at home as well. One of my students who is like that really asked me some of the greatest questions that you can imagine. So yesterday, she asked me, we're in the middle of doing an art project, so I'm answering questions as I'm like helping a kid make a clay pumpkin head. So these conversations happen quickly, but they can sometimes be very moving. So she asked me, where is my house? And I said, I live near the river I told her where in the city. And she said, oh, well, my house is in Vietnam. Where is your house? And it was as if she really thought my house wasn't in Vietnam. It was somewhere else. So I said, no, it's in Vietnam. It's in the city here near the river. And she says, oh, well, what about your house in America? And I said, well, I don't live in America. I live here. And she said, well, where do you sleep? And I thought, oh my God, she really thinks that like I go home to America to go to sleep and then come back to school in the morning. And so I said, I sleep in my house by the river. And she's like, well, who do you eat with? And I said, I eat by myself because I live by myself. And she said, oh, okay. My grandpa doesn't live with us either. And I was like, okay. So she was trying to understand something big. Number one, where her teacher has a life outside of school, which a lot of kids really think that we live at school, like we're just part of the furniture, and that I live in Vietnam. I actually live here. And I thought that was really remarkable. I wish that I could time travel and spend the night in America sometimes and have a burrito and come back and be at school the next morning, but that's not reality. And then in tying it in with the realization that her grandfather lives by himself and doesn't live with the family either. And so that gave her some context about me and about her grandfather, and understanding that, we don't always live with family. We sometimes move out and go on about our lives. So anyway, it was a great series of questions. The other question that she asked me last week after I had a motorbike accident, she asked me why I fell off my motorbike, or why did I want to fall off my motorbike? That's what she asked. Why did you want to fall off your motorbike? And I was like, I didn't want to fall off my motorbike. And she said, yeah, but you said that you fell down on your motorbike so that somebody else wouldn't get hurt. She remembered that I had explained that I had decided that it would be better for me to lay my bike down than to hit somebody that walked right into the road in front of me. And it was the right decision. I just sustained scrapes and bruises, but that could have been really deadly had I run into the person, either for them or me, or both. She remembered that. So she asked me like why I wanted to, and I explained, no, I didn't want to. I had to. It was a decision of I take a risk that I'm going to get hurt going down like that, but I'm going to save this other person from getting hurt and me from getting hurt possibly worse. And she understood it. So keep on asking those questions. I love when my students ask me questions, especially why questions. Usually because they're funny, because they're why in the context of something you just can't imagine how they pieced it together in their head. But I'll come up with a name for this series. Enjoy it. Have a great day. And I'm going to enjoy the rest of my afternoon. Peace from Vietnam.